we'll need to open one of our templates. So we're going to start with this one here, the toy design template, and you'll find that there are 4 layers. You'll be working on the very top one, which is titled Your Design. I have a superfluous layer called Template. You have guidelines, and these guidelines are really important, and you should use them. They give you the parameters in which you are meant to be working, so it's actually the space between the bottom line and the top line here is 75 millimeters, which is the height of the complete wooden block, and the distance between the 2 verticals is 160, which is the length of the toy. So in the end, all your work will have to fit within this particular rectangle set out by the guidelines. Now, guidelines can be turned off and on by going Control colon brings them back. You can also unlock guides by going Control Alt colon and then lock them again, Control Alt colon. You can create new layers by going Control R, which gives you a ruler on the top and on the side, and you can drag guides as you need them from the very top. Okay, and also you can drag them from the side. Let's get rid of those. So let us commence. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Pathfinder to create a complex shape from a number of simple shapes. And my design is of a toy inspired by the roof line of a sawtooth factory roof. So let's just maybe give you a little intro into Pathfinder. Pathfinder is one of these brilliant tools in Illustrator which enables you to combine shapes. So I'm going to combine a circle and a rectangle. Now, of course, when it comes to making circles, you must always hold the Shift key, otherwise you won't get a circle. And so I'm going to now do 2 things. I'm going to add the circle to the rectangle by going to Pathfinder. Let me just show you where to find it. Window, Pathfinder, and you get a whole bunch of little tools that you can use. The very first one unites, the second one subtracts the front from the back. And what does this look like? Oh, well, let's try this. Let's try to combine the 2 shapes. We have now a circle. We've got 2 combined shapes, which makes one brand new shape. Or we could subtract, and so we took away the circle from the rectangle. You could also do some really fancy stuff. So for example, I could make this into a handle, Control C, Control F. I can just try it. Oops, that didn't quite work. Control C, Control F. Let's try that again. That's better. It's not very wise of me. Let me just push this to the back. So arrange, send to back, and now I've got one circle behind another, and I can take that and I can subtract the front from the back. Now I have a ring. How do I know it's a ring? Well, let me see. That's how I know it's a ring. Okay, so I've got that ring. I can now take my ring and to make a handle, I want to subtract half of my ring down the middle, and I can go whack. Now I've got this kind of half ring. I can take it to my rectangle, looks more like a cup now, and I can combine them. Voila, I have now a single shape. Now you can do, or a padlock, or a cup, or whatever you'd like it to be. You can modify it, of course, uh, using the white arrow. Select an anchor, use your shift and arrow keys to maneuver the anchor points in any direction. That's kind of odd but interesting. There we go. Okay, so that's a Pathfinder tool, very handy, and we're going to use it now to make a toy. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, so we are going to create a rectangle first, the size of that little box guidelines. What I've done is I've actually saved it as smart guides, and that simply means that you'll get all these little prompts and indicators to show you exactly where you are and where the guides are and where the objects are, and also they're locked. Okay, so cancel that. Right. So I've got a rectangle, and I need the rectangle to be exactly 160 across. So we need to go to the transform tool, and it gives us these options of changing the size of something. But because I use smart guides, it has snapped to those extremities, and the width of my rectangle is exactly 160, so that's good. I don't really mind whatever this is, as long as it's not too big and fits within those given parameters of the guidelines I have there for you. Okay, so what does it actually look like? Let me get rid of the guides. That's what we've got so far. We've got a rectangle and this template at the bottom. So what I want to do is create a serrated roof by creating a series of triangles. So I'm going to create one triangle, 3, yes, I think that's a triangle. There we go. I'm going to rotate this so it points downward. I did hold down the shift key as I did that. It restricts the movement from 0, 45, then 90, and 180. So just big chunks, but clean chunks. I'm going to now just change the shape of this. I'll make it a little larger maybe, and I want to make one side straight. So so I take that, and I'm holding the shift key, and I'm just maneuvering it with the arrow, the left arrow, and taking my finger off the shift key, but I want to have smaller increments. So that's pretty good. I think it's a straight line there, and I want now to be able to stretch that a bit. Okay, I'm going to take that and plonk it in there, and I want about 4 of these, I think. Control C, F. F is paste in front. I think that was too big. Let me make this a little smaller and also steeper. Okay, let me try that now. I'm having it. You'll notice that I'm making the I'm leaving the triangle above the horizontal line here. It's important later, so it subtracts rather than makes a hole inside it. But also it gives me this little horizontal line, which is a part of my drawing. Control C, Control F, and let me go up close. Control plus up close. Spacebar allows you to move around, gives you that little hand grab. Left click and drag. Okay, so I want to move that a little closer, almost touching, and select these two Control C F. That's more or less alright. Okay, now I can do my dragging. I'm going to select all four of them and I'm going to drag it. I'm holding the shift key so it is getting bigger progressively. Maybe I shouldn't do that. That's better. Okay, I kind of like that. Oops, I moved the wrong thing. Let's try that again. Let's go to back a bit. Alright, so I've got my four triangles and I've got my rectangle, and I'm going to use Pathfinder to subtract those triangles from the rectangle, and it will give me some negative spaces, and there they are. Okay, so let's bring back the guides. Control colon and select the top shape, shift key, downward arrow, and away we go. I'm going to stop as soon as the top of the roof touches that blue line, and it's there. Okay, and I've made sure that I've overlapped. There you go. So they're overlapping. I want to choose both now. There's a little bit of overlap happening that you need that overlap, otherwise you won't get the union. And now we have a single shape. What does that look like? It looks like that. Now, I could leave it at that, or actually not be lazy and finish this off. Okay, just very quickly, I'm going to do some deleting. So I'm going to bring down some guides, and that guide's going to help me to get rid of this portion here. Alrighty, so here we have our toy. The wheels are in place. What you'll notice is that the wheel layer is locked. We don't want anything to do with these wheels when we copy and paste the car design, because there are wheels already existing in the orthogonal template. So we've got our design. This part of it's done, but what we want to do now is copy that. Control C, open the other template, the orthogonal presentation template, and you'll notice that in this template you've got a lot more layers. Please keep to these layers, and what you have is the variety of views on the very top. So we want to go to the front view, select that, and then go Control F. You're all going to need the partial drawing. All you are doing is adding to it and completing it. Because the two files are almost identical in terms of where things are located, all I've got to do is go Control F and it will paste exactly in the right position. Control F, and there it is. There I have slightly askew actually, but that's fine. I can just move this if I need to a little bit to one side, and it's there. Alright, so there's our design. I now have to change all these dimensions so it suits my drawing. So much for step one. In the next video we'll look at how to go about making these small changes in the existing file. Okay.